one too? Is this the one? Is this the one?
All right, play it again. I know this one. You have to shut up because I gotta listen.
He was like calling him by his first name. Dave, please stop, Dave. You're supposed to be my friend.
It's gotta be on here somewhere. 3, 2, 1. Keith Lee. Damn it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2. Count 'em, 2 of the Mustache Bros Wrestling official podcast. Give it to me for audio listeners. I think you have an idea of what we just did.
Welcome, Mustache Army. Episode 2 of the Mustache Bros Wrestling podcast. My name's Dante.
My name is John.
And today we are going to be talking about, you guessed it, wrestling.
We have a little bit, not much happened this past week of wrestling. Nothing. I don't think anything crazy.
Just a big Double or Nothing pay-per-view, maybe a pipe bomb promo by Mr. MJF. Hell in a Cell's coming up this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's honestly a big week.
It's a loaded week.
It's a good thing we started it when we did. I don't know. What do you want to start with? What do you want? This is our first real episode.
Yeah.
Because the first one we were just like talking about like whatever. But this is our first like topical. Bada bing, bada boom.
I mean, I know when we came in this morning. Well, when you came in this morning,
mm-hmm.
one of the first questions you asked me was, did you watch that MJF?
Okay, thank God. I want to talk about this too. I don't want to talk about anything else.
I don't know why we would skip over it.
I don't want to talk
now.
anything else.
So we're filming this. It's Thursday right now. This comes
June
out
2nd.
June 2nd. This comes out Friday, June 3rd. Yesterday, AEW Dynamite, the first episode after Double or Nothing. Obviously, there was a little controversy going on before the show. MJF versus Wardlow was supposed to be the match that night for both those guys. It did end up happening, but there was some concern because there were rumors that MJF flew out of Las Vegas, flew out of the arena, wherever it was, leaving Double or Nothing, not having a match.
No-showed the autograph
signing, and he did show up to the event, wrestled the match and everything, but there is obviously, and he's never shied away from contract issues with AEW, you know, him wanting more money and stuff, which in your opinion, you know, whether you think he deserves it or not, he came out last night and he said, "You want to hear me talk? This is Maxwell talking."
Let me say, before we get into it, I'm curious what you have to say. I think that was the greatest wrestling promo of all time. I think that topped the pipe bomb. It was so good. Just the energy, the passion. I mean, like, this is something I want to touch on a little later, with like the blurring the lines of like reality
breaking
and
the fourth wall and stuff.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people don't like that. I don't want to touch on it now. I want to talk about the promo first, but I want to circle back to it. So, again, go on. He ripped the scarf off, said this is Max Friedman talking. And then
Friedman, that's what he said.
He went crazy.
So I was watching that live. Before I get into, you said it was the greatest promo of all time. I'll answer that, and I'll give you my answer in a second. I watched that live, and I should have texted you during this. I'm watching this, and my jaw dropped many times.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those promo. All right, here's the thing with stuff like this, like pipe bombs and stuff, and kind of tying in the CM Punk one from 10 years, over 10 years ago, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
It was definitely... It's a work. People say, like, you know, whether it's real or fake and stuff. Let me tell you right now, Tony Khan would have cut him off much quicker last night if it was real.
Yeah.
He would have cut him off a lot quicker. It was definitely not scripted. I think Tony Khan gave MJF the green light. Go out there, say what you want to say. Let's build this thing up. And I do think it was one of the best promos I have ever heard in my life. Now, I'm not going to say it's the best simply because, one, it did happen last night. Two, I do think there are pipe bombs that have been said in the past that kind of laid the groundwork for stuff like this to happen, right? Like, I think CM Punk's pipe bomb was similar but also different. MJF was screaming. He was into it. He's walking around. CM Punk was just sitting cross-legged.
That calm, almost like maniacal demeanor of like, I have the upper hand, I have the mic.
Yep.
I agree with you. MJF's was different, which I think is what makes it stand out too.
100%.
It would have sucked if it was like a copy and paste, obvious, like, oh, he's, you know.
And it wasn't.
But the fact that he leaned into I mean, as much as he said, like, this is Max talking, like, it's MJF.
Right.
With the screaming and the passion and the fire me, Tony, fire me.
When he goes, I'm the best in the world, and he's like, and he's like really getting into it, bro. I'm like you feel that, dude. And he said,
Would you? I guess I go ahead.
There was one thing he said during the promo that I thought was so true. He goes, the difference between me and the boy. I love how he referred to them as the boys. Yeah. Just like shitting on them, subtly shitting on them by calling them boys. He was like, I do this better than anyone else in the back, and the difference is I don't need a gimmick to make you feel something. And that is so true because you think about his character, right? What is he? He's just a dick. Yeah, he's just himself. I
saw a really interesting thing on it that his character is based on Johnny Manziel.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
You're gonna like this. So
okay, that's odd.
It's this young college hotshot that he's the best in the business, and he gets number one, whatever, he got drafted number one QB, whatever, and he's the biggest thing. And like it's less about the Johnny Manziel story, more the Johnny Manziel persona, where he's before the big night, he's going out, and he's drinking, and he's fuck you, I'm the best, and there's a picture of, I guess there's you might know more about this than I would, but there's a famous night that Johnny Manziel had. Maybe it was before the draft, before a big game. I don't know. But there's a picture of him at a party, and he's wearing the plaid Burberry scarf. And it's it's where MGF got the scarf from. Let me see if I can keep going. I'll see if I can find the picture.
Okay, I'd never heard about something like that. Yeah, but going off of him saying that, it's like it's the truth. Like most of what he said in his promo was pretty accurate. I mean, the guy has been carrying AEW for a few years, and he's never been he's never had a championship. He's had matches for championships, never won anything. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the most.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
Interesting. That's like a little Easter egg thing right there. I never even heard of that. And best on the mic. There's no one in wrestling in any company better on the mic than MJF. And whether it's real, you're crossing the lines between real and fake at this point, right? I'm sure as I said, definitely that let him out, do your thing. It's not like real, but there definitely is some realness in there.
Yeah,
like him talking about.
And I'm curious because like you always have to speculate. It's always fun to speculate on like what didn't Tony Khan know?
Sure.
Maybe Tony Khan didn't think that he was going to drop like you're going to reach in your pockets if I was an ex-WWE guy.
That
the ex-WWE line was so...
And he doubled down on it. Whenever someone from either company says the other company's name, that's when it's like,
people go fucking nuts.
Shit, it's getting real here. But yeah, I mean, I agreed. I agreed with a lot of what he said. And even though I do think it's fake, I do think this is going to end up being a big storyline where MJF does return to AEW. Because I just see him. I don't, as much as he says, he can make a lot of money in WWE. Yeah. And that's obvious. And I do think he would be that type of guy that would like buddy Vince McMahon and kind of get his way that way. He seems like a kiss ass a little bit. But, you got to get to the top. WWE would not utilize him the way that AEW would.
And I think, again, like I'm not so into like the biggest argument now is like, oh, is it a work? Has it been a work the whole time? Like I'm kind of in the camp of I think even him not showing up at the signing might have been part of this whole thing. Because Tony Khan plans things so long in advance.
We talk about long-term storytelling. Yeah. They're the best at that. Easily.
Exactly. So whether it's again, I don't, whether it's a work or not, who cares? It's for the story. And I am curious, like I said, what parts of that maybe were a shoot, maybe were a work. Either way, I think he's the hottest thing in wrestling right now. And also, so I guess another point that a lot of people aren't super happy about is he kind of no-sold the Wardlow stuff. Sure. Because he got powerbombed 10 times. Yeah. Which I think it added to the promo of like the little break in the fourth wall, the little like let me break out of this thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of it because it's like you did just go through that match where like you're supposed to put over Wardlow, who's this big whatever. Right. But selfishly, I think it just worked in his favor of like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Pay me. I'm the hottest thing in wrestling. Yeah, I think overall my thoughts are just like, I love it. I loved it.
So I guess the next question is, where do we think this is going to lead to?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I have two theories of what this is going to do.
It seems like they're doing a classic like authority angle. Yep.
Like a Vince McMahon, Stone Cold type of thing. I'm getting those vibes.
I hope it's not Tony.
Okay.
Because Tony's this...
He's kind of quirky. He's kind of weird on screen.
He's a weird, quirky, and like happy and like nice guy. Like his whole thing is like...
He's a fan.
He's a fan. And I think like...
As MJF said last night.
Like I would get it if he wanted to like... If he had this like fantasy thing of like, oh, I want to be the heel, whatever. I guess he's said in interviews in the past where he doesn't want to be a character on the show.
Right.
So I see this as some authority angle. I hope... I do want to see Tony come out and maybe cut some promo or whatever. I just hope this doesn't lead to... What I really hope it doesn't lead to is any in-ring Tony action.
Right. Yeah.
I'm very curious what it's going to lead to. I mean, Punk is kind of... I wouldn't be surprised if Punk is involved a little bit.
So after... I don't know if you saw. So CM Punk came out after the... Obviously, lights went out. They cut MJF off, and he was in the ring. CM Punk came down. MJF went through the crowd. So that could be a little, little teaser.
Where do you think this is going?
So the whole Vince McMahon, Stone Cold, that's the type of vibe you get. Like the typical authority figure versus pissed off employee who wants to get back at his boss. I do agree with you. Tony Khan isn't... I don't want him on my screen that much. I don't think he's meant to be in front of a screen. I just think just the type of personality he is, the type of guy... he just doesn't fit into that role. And I respect him for not wanting to as well, because I think that kind of takes away from the talent that you have. You want to give more screen time to those guys. I mean, the only time you've seen him is for big announcements, like the Forbidden Door most recently. So definitely getting those types of vibes. But I read something online, and I want to hear what you think about this. So this is kind of in a way, a full circle type of instance. I don't think they're going to do this. It's just the idea of it that I like. So his contract is up in 2 years. So let's just say they do this within the next year. Let's just say, so this doesn't drag out 2 years. We'll just say a year. People were saying this is going to be very similar and reminiscent of the old CM Punk John Cena storyline, where MJF has 1 foot out the door telling me, fire me, suspend me, get me out of here. CM Punk is the champ, the face of the company, the one that's holding everything down. Maybe a year from now, CM Punk's still the champ, year-long reign. Big match. If MJF wins, he's the champ, leaves the company with the belt. CM Punk loses, he's still around.
Yeah.
I know that's very long-term.
Interesting.
But like we said earlier, AEW is very good with that. Now,
I mean, they have so many directions to go, which is exciting.
So I don't think they're going to do that, because that's copy and paste WWE.
Sure.
And I don't think... If it's going to be one of their bigger storylines ever,
which is why his pipe bomb was so different, because they wanted to reminisce, be reminiscent of it, but it's like, this is our own thing.
Because I think they're painting this and building it up as one of their bigger feuds ever. Yeah. Like the whole MJF Wardlow feud was probably one of their bigger feuds ever. It was a 2-year buildup. You know what I mean? So I don't think they'd want to have an ultimate conclusion being a copy and paste of WWE. I don't think it's a good look for them. I don't think fans would be as interested. But I did think that was very interesting. But like you said, there's a million directions they can go down. I trust AEW with whatever they do. I think it's all going to work out one way or another. And even if Tony Khan does get screen time and does do his thing, MJF is going to carry this feud. Carry it.
Maybe this is the last, because obviously we don't want to spend the whole show.
Right,
we could talk about. We're undeniably big MJF fans, but is MJF now the biggest baby face in the company? Because at the beginning of his promo, he's getting booed out of the fucking building. By the end of it, when he's like, I deserve more, he drops like the ex-WWE guys. Half the arena's cheering
They were cheering for him. Yeah.
He's getting cheered.
They were applauding him.
So at this point, like you said, you almost have a Stone Cold and Vince thing where Stone Cold is getting cheered to take down the company or take down the boss.
Right.
And I've heard, which I agree with this. I think MJF has a monster babyface run in him. Like he's just,
for sure can be.
I don't want to see it now. So I think he's the best heel in wrestling.
Right.
So to kind of just like cut into that now, I don't know if switching him is the move, but like, I mean, like we've touched on it before. It's like you can't predict or really direct audiences like you can like you used
100%.
to. So it's gonna be curious the reactions that he gets going forward, and then what if they dive into like, oh, let's just jump and make him a babyface now.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know.
So to answer your question, the original question, is he the biggest babyface in wrestling? I'm going to say no to that because I still don't consider him a babyface. I think we actually talked about it a little bit yesterday when we were doing the TikToks. Just kind of talking about how heels and babyfaces, there's such a nowadays, dude, like obviously you have your good guys, your villains, but fans, they cheer and boo for anyone. Like Roman Reigns was getting booed for years when he was supposed to be a face. Now he's a heel and like he gets more cheers now. John Cena was getting booed and he's obviously the biggest face the company has had in 20, 30 years or whatever. I do think there is a babyface running MJF, and this isn't one of those instances where obviously in wrestling, you can just flip a switch. Like, all right, one night we're just going to turn you heel. We're going to turn you face. This needs to be a natural build towards him being a bit. You can't one night be like, all right, go out there. You're going to be. I think they're
going to build it up to like there's going to be some match where he has this one big moment, and he switches in the middle of the match.
And you know how they do that is by him telling stories of truth, things that are relatable. Why did people love Stone Cold so much against Vince McMahon? One, Vince McMahon's a dick. We all know that. But two, everyone hates their boss. Most people hate their boss. Maybe we don't, but most people hate their bosses and they want to be like anti-authority, like fuck you. Like I don't like my boss and he's going to attack him, do whatever you want. People love that shit. So I think as you build this up, MJF will get a more natural babyface turn where more people will still boo him because I do think he'll still have that like edginess where he's just going to say whatever and whatever. But I do think over time, at the end of all this, I can see him being a true babyface. And I think he'd be amazing. I think he'd be amazing. Yeah. Any character, anything he's asked to do, I think he'd kick ass in it.
So I want to circle back. This is kind of getting off MJF, more just talking in general, but it's related. Are you? Which I mean, I think it seems like we're kind of in agreement here, but just to kind of talk about it, how do you feel about the blurring lines of reality, like with the pipe bomb or with MJF's promo or whatever? Because I've seen criticism where people are like, "Oh, well, I watch wrestling strictly because it's all fantasy and there's nothing real about it." Whatever. So I guess my question to you is, how do you feel about it, and do you like when wrestling brings reality in and kind of blurs the line of like, is this real? Is this not? Is this a shoot? Is this a work? I guess what's your 2 cents on that?
I love it.
Yeah,
it makes things more personal. And I don't understand when obviously people watch wrestling for different reasons. People have their opinions, and you respect everyone's opinions. But I think wrestling, especially nowadays, a lot of it's fantasy, right? And I think that's something that drives casual fans away. I don't think like people like me and you've been watching it forever. We're hardcore fans and we'll watch no matter what. But like a casual fan, like it's not as interesting to them than seeing you watch that clip from last night. I think that's going to draw someone in more. It's like, oh, this guy's talking shit about his boss. He's saying fuck and shit and all that stuff on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like that stuff, I feel like it would incline more people to be drawn into the product than just a typical like fantasy booking or whatever. And I think you got to have, both of those obviously, but I just think adding that realism makes wrestling, you feel something more. Like I said to you, I like watching that promo, like I felt like I can feel the emotions. Like
especially today when like maybe an audience is a little tougher to capture or captivate. Where it's like adding that, I personally, that's like the most fun. It's like speculating, like, like I'm feeling the same way of like the Naomi and Sasha story, which like obviously that's a real story and they are suspended or whatever. But it's at this point, it's almost the same thing of like MJF's promo, which let's just assume it's 100% a work. And then obviously Naomi and Sasha isn't. But it's the same level of excitement.
Same world.
It's the same level of like, I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens.
What happens next.
And it's all, I think either way, it's all drama, and either way it's a story, and I think at that point a story is a story, whether it's a real story, a made up story, or whatever, you know what I mean? I think at that's what wrestling does. It just tells stories. Doesn't matter if it's real, doesn't matter how much real it has. So I'm in agreement with you. I think like that's my favorite part, and I think and I'm definitely like the guy when he said ex-WWE, I sat up. I sat up.
Yeah, you said you lean over a little bit. Oh, he's got shit to say right now. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely in the same
On the
boat.
same
I get,
page.
I get the criticism of like, oh, I don't want realism. Like I just want it to be an escapism, whatever. I think it still is. I think it just, reality is captivating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I think too. So I said like the realism in wrestling, I feel like is pretty taboo. When saying that, I mean like it doesn't happen a lot. So when people make comments like that, and like when MJF drops a promo like that, people are like, oh, damn. So There's
gotta be a balance.
There has to be a balance. I don't think what makes things like that so special is they don't happen a lot. So I do think you don't like overdo it. But realism in wrestling is awesome. It just makes it more personal, makes it more fun to watch, in my opinion. But everyone has their opinion, so.
Let's get off MJF.
All right.
We could talk about MJF for
all day.
hours. I mean,
we can make a podcast just about
MJF podcast. God, I love him.
First guess?
God, he's only
Wardlow.
20.
He's young.
He's only 26.
Yeah, he's only a few years older than us. That's
How
nuts.
old's Wardlow?
I would think not too much. Well, he looks young.
Let's look it up.
Look it up.
This is what we call a mini game.
How old is Wardlow?
I'm going to say 27.
I'm going to say
28. Fuck.
I'm going to go 28.
Oh, 29. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Wardlow age.
He is
34. Oh, gee, he looks great.
He does look great for 34.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you for joining us on
thank you.
mini game. Mustache Bros Wrestling mini game.
How old is Wardlow?
All right. What do we? I mean, like a lot of other stuff happened. We have Hell in a Cell coming up. We have Double or Nothing. I mean, granted, it is a week old at this point, but we could
CM
talk
Punk
that.
World Champ. That's what you picked.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's talk about that.
Might as well.
Well, obviously this isn't gonna be just a strictly AEW stuff, but like, hey, come on, it's exciting. Get over it.
It's a big
exciting.
AEW
Get over
week,
it.
So, what are your
CM
thoughts?
Punk, 43-year-old CM Punk beat AEW original Adam Page.
Yep.
I get it. I like it. I think. I mean, one, they're going into Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
You want the big this big name. Was it a little too early? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fair argument. CM Punk's only had a handful. I mean, I think his record is like 19-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But most of those have just been like
big
squashes. Not a lot of them
or
have
like
been.
pay-per-view matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, or well, when he first started, he was just kind of beating dudes on Dynamite, and it wasn't anything
true.
notable.
Yeah.
He's had big matches. I think I personally would have liked him. I personally would have liked him to climb the ladder a little more.
Okay.
Maybe lose to Hangman, try to fight back, or whatever. However, I'm not mad at CM Punk being the champion. I think, he's one of the hottest guys in wrestling right now. He can still go. I mean, he's still there.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not like putting the title on, a beaten up Jeff Hardy right now, where it's like,
you can trust CM Punk.
Yeah, I like it. I think I'm curious how long they're gonna have him hold it. I think they're gonna have him. I mean, you kind of touched upon it. Maybe he has a year,
stuff,
whatever.
Good.
I think he's gonna hold it for a while. I like it. What do you think?
So we did our predictions video last week, and I picked Hangman to win.
Yep.
The reason why I picked Hangman was I didn't think it was the right time to give CM Punk the belt.
Yeah.
Now I agree. I'm fine with him being champ. I think he looks amazing with the belt.
Yeah.
I think he is the perfect guy to be the face of the company, be the world champ, lead your company, especially in a big pay-per-view like Forbidden Door, big match guy. It just the whole
feels quick.
Winning it felt quick. It just didn't feel like the right moment.
It feels like, oh, you're our top guy here.
Yeah, it's like you knew it was going to happen eventually, and I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a build-up to that. Again, it was a contention thing. You were the number one contender. You were number one in the rankings. Here's your match. I feel like there could have been a different build to it, a heel or a face turn from someone, or I guess a heel turn, because they're both faces, a heel turn from someone. I'm fine with it. Like I said, I think he'll be great as champ. I do think he'll have an amazing run. He'll have great matches. I just wish they waited a little bit longer.
Yeah,
that's all.
I agree.
That's all. But overall, you can't go wrong with CM Punk. Him with FTR now, I think that'll be a cool trios that they'll have.
Just announced too, we're getting CM Punk versus Tanahashi.
Yes,
which cards on the table. I don't know much about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know Tanahashi is the guy
he's the
right
GOAT
now.
in New Japan. He's like the Grand Slam champ or something like
Yeah.
that. I was expecting like Okada or
I was expecting Okada too,
or
Kenta
or something like that.
They do the go to sleep battle or whatever.
Right. But I'm sure. I mean, I don't know much about New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. I would like to get into a little bit more. Maybe I'll check. Maybe maybe before this pay-per-view, we'll do a little New Japan, a little research, get a little into that so we know what we're watching. But yeah, going back to CM Punk, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine, champ. Just
now, who do you, besides Tanahashi, what do you think is going to be the big program with Punk? Who do you think he's going to be
Punk? I do think down the line MJF is going to get his rematch
because that's CM Punk's only loss.
Right,
is MJF.
I think it wouldn't shock me if someone like Wardlow got thrown in there a little bit.
Yeah, they
had a little thing going on when it was the CM Punk MJF feud. He could be a guy that steps up. I mean, dude, you can have Moxley, you could have Danielson, you could have Jericho, you could have, I mean, even the other guy from Blackpool Combat Club, Yuta. Yuta could be a guy you can get. I mean, like
Yuta be cool to build.
CM Punk's gonna want to wrestle like wrestlers, like young, like up and comers that you can make look really good. Hobbs, maybe or Ricky Starks or someone like that. Like those guys could get opportunity. I think those matches would be.
Kenny Omega's gonna come back.
Kenny
Omega versus
that's
Punk
the big one. That actually I think will be when Omega comes back. Oh,
Forbidden Door
boom,
return. There it
comes
is.
back at Forbidden Door after the match, sets up Omega Punk,
and then
dude, are you kidding me?
Boom.
Oh my god, yeah. I think that.
Tony, let us book the show.
That will be a fire feud whenever they decide to do that. Omega,
and then look what you get: Omega and the Bucks, Punk and FTR.
I mean, they have this stuff written out for them right now. This is beautiful. But I do think with CM Punk being champ, possibilities are endless with guys he can go up against. The roster's stacked. I mean, you got Samoa Joe, too, Adam Cole. The list goes on.
Yeah.
He could have an amazing reign just based off the matches.
It's
gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back to AEW. Let's jump to WWE.
Okay.
Let's jump to the B show.
Okay, the B. Yeah, well, that's true. So.
Hell in a Cell. We're gonna have our so today is. Let me think. Okay, so this is so confusing. The podcast comes out Friday, aka today.
Yep.
So that means we did our predictions yesterday.
Yes.
Check those out. Full transparency, at the time of recording this, we're recording our predictions after filming this.
Yes. Yeah.
So we haven't really done. Also, I wouldn't want to talk about it yet because we have that separate video for a reason. However, just general Hell in a Cell hype. Let me pull up the match card.
Roman Reigns isn't even on the card, bro.
Yeah.
The world champ. He hasn't
Do
even
they only
defended
have
the belt.
one Cell match?
The Cody Seth is in the Cell.
Hell in a Cell match card.
I don't know if the Triple Threat Women's match is in the Hell in a Cell.
Let's see.
It might be the only Hell in a Cell match, which I'm fine with. Kevin Owens, Ezekiel. I don't care.
Honestly,
the story is funny.
Yeah, I like
the story. Maybe maybe it won't be that bad. I think they'll do it. Kevin
match.
Owens, I trust with anyone.
What the fuck?
Theory Mustafa Ali.
I didn't know that was happening for the U.S. title.
Care. Bobby Lashley, Omos again, and MVP in a handicap match. I don't care about that. Judgment Day versus AJ Finn Liv.
I'll bet you this is going to be good.
That'll be a good match. Yeah, I wonder if one of those guys will turn in that match and join them.
I could see Finn or AJ.
Yeah, Bianca, Asuka, Becky. That could be a really good match. That should be a good match.
Is this not in the cage?
Doesn't sound like it.
Belair staying in the spotlight. Yeah, that'll be a good match.
And then Cody versus Seth.
That's the only Hell in a Cell match.
But like,
what?
I think it kind of.
It's the only one deserving.
More it's the only one deserving. It makes it more prestigious. I mean, I'll have it on. I'll probably pay attention to like half of those matches. The Judgment Day match, Balor, AJ Styles, Cody, Seth. I'll definitely.
It's honestly a skippable Judgment Day and, for lack of a better term, let's just call them WWE Bullet Club.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have a fun match.
The women's championship will be good.
It's really the last three that are.
I could care less about Omos fighting. I could care less about Theory, Mustafa Ali. Like I like the storyline with Owens and Ezekiel, but I probably won't care too much about the match. Yeah, man, WWE is just
a small card.
Bro, they're so good at just like giving you matches that we've seen a million times already. It's just boring. It's the same old shit. That's why AEW is so much better, dude. It's like every week, every like so often, every pay-per-view, there's just new matchups, new guys getting opportunities, guys you never even heard of before. Just get like Dante Martin fought Hangman Adam Page for the world title a few weeks ago. Like, that's just a random thing, but it's a great match, and it gets those guys out there more, like people that don't know who they are.
Why isn't Roman on this card?
That's why he didn't defend the belt at Backlash. He fought, didn't defend it, not defending it here. He's not on the Money in the Bank mat card, which is next month. I don't know what they're doing.
Is what he means.
He's not scheduled to fight at the card, which is okay. So you built this guy up for so long, making him this dominant guy, basically the next Brock Lesnar, if we're being honest with you. Give him both the belts, and you're not even defending. I don't even think they like decide if it's unified or not. I don't even think there's like a clear like decision of whether or not he can defend both or just one. They never even confirmed that. So it's like, let's just say they're not unified. The guy isn't even going out defending one of the belts.
You know what, too? You know what's also not on here? Tag titles.
Tag titles.
Usos unify the tag titles. Those aren't on here.
This is a very skippable pay-per-view. Like, this is just a filler. That's all it is. It's just to sell tickets and money, and that's all it is. It's Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes is genuinely the only, like, I'm excited about this match.
Yeah.
And really, like, the other matches will be good, but this is the only one I really care about.
I guess that leads me to my next question. Is Cody Rhodes working?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
I'm not as hyped on it.
I think you're not so hyped up on it because he's only fought one guy, really. He's only been in one feud since he's been back. But I think Seth Rollins is the perfect guy to just like get like really like cement him as all right, like you belong here. Like, you're one of the best.
Maybe I'm in the minority here. It feels like he's losing steam. Okay. And again, that's might be just because he's had this is his third or fourth match with Seth?
Third match. Yeah, I do think they've strung out a little bit too much.
I get it. Hopefully, this has to be the blow off. Not to spoiler our predictions, but like Cody's got to win it, right? Cody's got to win.
I mean, you'd think,
like,
unless they want to do best of 5.
Oh my God.
That would be the only thing.
Remember, like they did Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah,
like the best of.
Yeah, it was like I think it was
10
like
or 11 or
something crazy. It's too much. They put on great matches, but I understand. It's the same thing. It's boring.
So is Cody the guy to beat Roman?
I think he will.
Because who else?
I think he will be the guy to beat Roman. I'm not saying he is the guy, but I think he will be the guy to beat Roman.
Yeah. I don't believe it yet. Maybe I'm not supposed to believe it yet. I agree he is going to be the one, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think they'll build up
as
to
of
it.
now, he needs to.
I don't think they'll give him the belt. I don't think he'll fight Roman at SummerSlam and win it. I think it'll be like end of the year. Like Roman and Rock, I believe, are wrestling at WrestleMania. Roman will not be a champ going into that event. I think Cody will be the one to take it off of him at some point before that. That's what I think will happen. I don't have an issue with what they're doing with Cody Rhodes. It is getting a little stale, but I think that'll end.
They're still doing like the Cody countdown clock.
Yeah, they're just trying to build him up as like a must-see attraction. You know what I mean? Which I mean,
he's the number 2 at this point. It's Roman and Cody.
Yeah, I mean, they're building him up as the guy. That's what they are. So we'll see. It all comes down to what they do with him next. I'm fine with him now, but hey, if they mess up the next feud, then I might be on your side. Yeah. So
wow. So yeah, go check out our full predictions for Hell in a Cell. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting one.
It'll be a doozy.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm looking at the card. This is crazy.
This will be a quick one. This will be a quick one, but what can you do? That's what WWE gives us.
Wow. So I want to jump back because all right. Well, no, let's talk about this match. Bianca, Asuka, Becky. Bianca's great. Bianca's a great face. I almost put her. We did the TikTok where it was top 5. Oh, it's going to come out.
Faces.
Wait, whatever. Top.
Whatever.
We have a TikTok. It's like is coming out or is out. It's top 5 baby faces. I'm listing mine. I almost put Bianca on there. I put Asuka on there. Again, maybe I'm just being hypercritical, but her title run hasn't been
anything
special. I think she's a great champion. I think she's a great babyface. I think she's one of the most talented women in the company. I just don't think her. I think if she wins, which I'm not going to spoil our predictions because again we haven't even done them for you, but I think if she wins this match, that's going to be a huge push or whatever you want to call it for her title run, for her legacy. I don't know. What do you think about this match? What do you think is going to happen? Maybe not in getting into predictions, but just what are you feeling?
Yeah, I think talking about her reign being lackluster and stuff like that. I just think that's not even like a fault to her. Look at just the title picture in WWE right now.
Yeah.
The World Heavyweight Championships aren't even being defended.
Right. And they had to combine them.
The Women's Championship belts, just boring reigns going up against the same people over and over again.
Who's the SmackDown
The SmackDown champ is Ronda Rousey.
It is Ronda.
And again, you wouldn't know. Intercontinental belt Ricochet. That's just a hot potato belt at this point.
Theory with the US title.
That's like one of the only reigns that like is like justified right now. Tag team belts, they just unified them. What are they going to do with that now? Wow. You know what I mean? So it's like when we talk about like lackluster reigns and stuff, like not even here, but just over the years and stuff, I don't blame the performer, the wrestler. I blame the company, the people that are supposed to be writing the stories and supposed to give them direction, give them a good reign. So Bianca's reign has been lackluster, but it's not because of what she's doing. It's what she's been given. And I think I do think this will be a great match. I think Bianca will win. Yeah. Just because I do think she should have a decent reign.
I think this will steal the show. I think this is going to be the best match.
It definitely has the potential, a lot of potential to do it.
And I'm also just Asuka and Becky are.
I mean, three of the best wrestlers in wrestling. Period today. Not even just WWE in wrestling. I mean, it's going to be one of the most exciting matches.
Wow, listen to this. It has been less than 2 months since Belair became Raw Women's Champion. In that time, she's had all of one televised title defense. Meaning she needs many more for WWE can consider putting the belt on anyone else. So I mean, yeah, like you were saying, she hasn't had her reign. She hasn't had her reign yet. You know, she hasn't had the chance to defend it or become or really be champion.
And even in AEW, Thunder Rosa, she won the AEW women's belt. Before her match with Serena at Double or Nothing, she had like less than 15 minutes of TV time in total since she won the belt. Yeah, that's like.
And I know we're obviously big AEW guys, so I'm glad you brought that up.
They have their fault. Everyone 100%.
I'm glad that we have something to critique AEW on. Right. I don't want this to come off as just
perfect.
Exactly. But yeah, no, the Thunder Rosa Serena Deeb match.
No one cared about it because
we forgot about it. in the predictions.
Thank you for pointing that out to us. It's because we didn't like know. It wasn't even on the website that we went off of because they didn't even know what was happening. It's just unfortunate when you see stuff like that because you don't blame the wrestler. The wrestler can't go out there and come up with their own storylines and do all that stuff. It's the people in the back that are doing it. And it's a fault not just in WWE, in AEW as well. They need to...
AEW's women's division has been...
lackluster.
And it's been what's been criticized of them, which I agree. Like it's like when Britt Baker had the title, it was a pretty big deal, I think. The second she lost the title, they kind of just are ignoring it. Like you said, Thunder Rosa didn't even have a run. I mean, Jade Cargill is doing great work with the TBS championship. However, it still feels like a backseat. I don't know. The women's division feels like it's taking a backseat.
Title. Yeah, I agree. What was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot. Oh, Britt Baker. She lost the belt, but they're still building her as like the best woman because she won the Owen Hart thing. Still gets more TV time than Thunder Rosa.
If you didn't know any better, you would think Britt Baker was still the champion.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. Company, they just need to be more aware and be better at, make the titles prestigious. And AEW, their women's division is not as good as WWE, and to compare it, WWE's tag team division is nowhere near the AEW tag team division. So they each have their faults and their strengths.
All right, let's get into the last bit of it.
Okay.
Jumping back to AEW, I got a question for you, and this one might hit you a little hard.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. Hit me.
Should Jeff Hardy hang it up?
Selfishly, no, because obviously he's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I would want to watch that man wrestle until the end of time.
Agreed.
But as a human being that is concerned over the well-being and health of others, especially those that have given me a childhood,
sure,
Jeff Hardy should have retired like 3 years ago. Yeah. The guy's we'll say mid-40s, 45, something like that.
Welcome to our second mini game of the day. How old is Jeff Hardy?
I think 45.
That's what we can get. 44.
44. Okay, so right around there. I mean, the guy wrestled at Double or Nothing. You could just Not even just double down. You can watch him wrestle. He's slow. He's very
he was really
cautious. Hesitant is a good word.
I remember 2 of the spots where he kind of slipped up and hesitated doing the whisper in the wind, the swanton, which is fucking insane that he did it. The swanton onto the steps. There was a little hesitation, like,
yeah, it's like not like 10, 15 years ago where you can do that stuff and be like, all right, like it'll hurt, but I'll walk it off. Now you're in your mid 40s, bro. Yeah. Some of these things are going to be a lot harder to walk off.
You brought it up to me, but he was scheduled to have a match last night.
Not anymore.
Dynamite,
why?
And
because
they took him off. Yeah,
that's why.
It was cool. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but like, you could tell because they play it off as like, oh, he handpicked someone to come out for him. And he was dressed in normal clothes. Matt was still in the match. You could tell he was a little bit, again, maybe I'm reading into it, but it seemed like he was a little bit like disappointed, or just, I don't know. You could tell there's a little bit of like, fuck, I'm not 26 anymore.
Yeah.
Like there was something there that like he wasn't. I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't hyped that he is aging.
I think.
And he brought up Darby Allin, and
I think it's very natural for guys like someone like Jeff Hardy, like any wrestler, but Jeff Hardy, they have high expectations for themselves. So go out there, these people spend their hard-earned money to buy tickets, to buy the pay-per-view. They want to see a good match, and when he knows he's not what he used to be. Yeah. He's slower. He's all this and that, and I think that could mentally that can get to someone being like, I can't give 100%.
The expectations for Matt is like, Matt's not doing swantons and all this crazy shit.
That's why he's healthier, because he never put it like he had his ladder matches with 100%. Jeff, but never extreme like Jeff.
And even that's why I think Matt can still go, is because one, the expectations are a lot lower, and I think he just knows his limits. But Jeff, his AEW run has been nuts. I mean, when he first signed, me and you were both, I remember talking about it, we were both just like, oh, he's gonna have like a pretty similar run to Matt. He's gonna do some simple matches. Right. In his first match, he's doing like a swanton off the balcony or whatever. Like what are you, insane?
Yeah, and then he did the match with Darby Allin where he caught him coming off the ladder, and it's like, even though he didn't want someone flipping, he caught him onto a thing of chairs. That hurts, bro. That does a number to you.
Yeah. I think maybe
soon. I think he should hang it up.
I think soon. If anything, if he still wants to go, just adjust the work rate a little bit. Maybe stop doing the swantons off a 20-foot ladder, and
cut back a little bit.
Ultimately, we want to see him healthy.
I wonder what his deal was. How many years he signed with AEW?
Good question.
Because I feel like I don't think he signed a big deal.
I don't think so either.
Maybe like they sign a bigger deal, like, all right, this many years you'll be active, this many years you can be like behind the scenes. I don't know.
WrestleTalk.com has it. The current deal will reportedly last until the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023.
Oh, okay. So
he probably signed for it. He probably signed for it.
That's good. All right, I'm happy to hear that, because I don't think he should be going much longer than that.
Yeah.
But realistically, he should retire within the next year or two.
It sucks to see.
It's our childhood.
It's one of your heroes. So one of your childhood heroes. 100%. And it sucks to see them age and kind of get older. But like at the end of the day, you want to see them healthy. You don't want to see them have to be taken out of a match because you're too beat up.
100%. Listen, you gave us enough memories in your 20, 25 plus years of wrestling. You deserve the time. You have a wife, you have kids and stuff, and enjoy your time with your family.
With that said, how do we feel about this set? We can talk this out. This is this is episode 2, so this is all trial and error. Do we want to get into start doing like wrestler of the week and match of the week? How do we feel about that?
We can do that.
Want to save that for TikToks? What do we?
We can do that right now. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
All right. Well, I guess I should have told you this earlier, because I don't know if you had a whole lot of time to think of this.
I already know my answer.
You know yours?
I know wrestler of the week at least.
Who's your wrestler of the week?
MJF.
Welcome to a new segment. Hold on. Welcome. This is a segment. This is wrestler of the week.
Wrestler of the week. Woo! Cue the fireworks.
MJF. Nice.
Yeah. Even if he lost in his one match, that promo alone put him head and shoulders over everyone else.
I am going with Matt Hardy.
Okay.
I made this decision before Dynamite, so MJF is, if we were actually ranking him, who is star power right now, MJF, of course. Reason I'm putting Matt Hardy is because in the match, I think he was a workhorse.
Okay.
Jeff seemed like he got injured pretty early, and he was basically out of not most. He was out a majority of the match, like a good chunk of it, and I really noticed it was Matt carrying for a whole lot of the match. So Matt Hardy, you are my wrestler of the week because I think you were the unsung hero of the match. You were the sung hero of the match. You really put it on your back. You took all the bumps from the Bucks. You kind of protected Jeff a little bit when he, I don't know what the deal was. He was either injured or he was out of it or like whatever. There was a few moments in the match where Jeff was kind of sidelined. So for that reason, I'm going Matt Hardy. You put the team on your back.
All right, Mao. Match of the week.
This one I didn't think about.
I was thinking about it while I was looking at you talking.
Okay.
I have my answer.
Go ahead.
And this was last night. It wasn't even at the pay-per-view. Daniel Garcia versus John Moxley.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Awesome main event.
Dude, that kid's a star.
Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this theory? I'm going to blow your mind right
Go
now.
ahead.
So, obviously, right now we have the whole Blackpool, the Combat Club versus Jericho Appreciation Society, all that going on. Now, the Blackpool Society is the Blackpool Combat Club, is
Which is
awesome.
called the Blackpool Jericho Society.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think they're doing great work. They brought in Yuta. I think the whole goal is you have Moxley and Danielson, but you bring in young guys, build them up, make them look like future stars. They haven't added someone in a while. This is my theory. I think this feud is going to go on a little bit longer, and at some point, Garcia is going to turn on Jericho Society and join the Blackpool Combat Club.
I love that.
I think he would be. He has the look.
So good.
He fits that group so perfectly. And last night with Moxley, there was a little teaser. Moxley was bleeding all match. Garcia didn't bleed once. He goes, "You will never make me bleed." They have a blood and guts match in a few weeks.
Garcia said that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He will. They'll have the blood and guts
Dude,
match.
that's going to be
They'll make him bleed.
That match is going to be scary.
It's going to be great. I'm excited. John Moxley. Oh, my God. And Eddie King. Oh, my God.
It's going to be so much
Tito
blood.
Ortiz. Oh, my God. It's going to be awesome. But I think at some point, Garcia, they'll make Garcia bleed. And the whole point of the thing is like, we got to bleed together, right?
Right.
Some point, Sun switches, joins the group.
And
Bam.
I said it, I forget what video it was, but like I said that like, I think it was one of our AEW predictions where like I wasn't too hot on Jericho Appreciation Society and Garcia is the standout. However, I was critical because I haven't seen much of him. Maybe that's a fault to me.
Sure.
Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. Maybe I haven't seeked it out. Either way, I haven't been really presented with a whole lot of Daniel Garcia.
Okay.
I see the potential and what the small stuff I've seen of him. I was watching that match last night. I was like, this kid's got it.
Yeah.
This kid's got it. And he's, I think, justifiably so, young Randy Orton.
He has the look.
Oh, my God.
Has the look. 100%.
Oh, my God.
1,000%. He's young, too.
How? Welcome.
Welcome to our next segment. How old is Daniel Garcia? I'm going to guess 24.
I'm going to guess. He looks
really young.
I'm going to say 26.
Okay. Daniel Garcia is
23. Holy shit.
Wow. They just keep getting younger and younger. Holy crap. So yeah, I mean this guy has has the world ahead of him.
Dude.
He's got the world in the palm of his hands. The future is more than bright for this kid. And I think you put him in a stable like the Blackpool Combat Club, you can truly give him exposure and make him look like a badass. That would do wonders for him.
As part of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, he is the current PWG World Champion. What? Is this true? What does that mean?
PWG World Champion? It must be another PWG Wrestling. Okay.
I mean, I've heard of PWG.
Yeah. He won it. He won it a month ago. Yeah.
What?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they do a lot of cross promotional stuff. You've never seen him with the belt, but
let me scroll down here. Daniel Garcia is the current champ.
Interesting.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
He's got
good for him. Yeah. He's a world champ. But yeah, I think that was my match of the week. Garcia, Moxley. I think Garcia's the brightest future, and I hope my theory is correct.
I think
that would be awesome.
I like your Austin theory. Some would say.
Thank you. He's just theory now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. My match of the week, I am going with the Anarchy in the Arena match. Okay. So I mean, I guess we're both. Clearly, same boat, same reason. A lot Daniel Garcia, another kind of more TV time for him. I mean, then just the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston, the whole. I mean, it's just so good. Yeah. I mean, whether that's another maybe controversy thing is the violence and how much blood in wrestling, but it's you know, it's not every match. This is the one. The next match is called Blood and Guts.
Yep.
You know what you're signing up for. Don't watch it if you're not into it.
It is going to be
you know,
gory.
Is that happening on Dynamite?
Yes, they announced it
Jesus
last night. It's
Christ.
at the end of this month. Free TV, baby.
Wow. Is that going to be one of their like special
I would
the
think,
Blood and Guts shows?
So. I'm sure it'll be called like Blood and Guts or something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Is it the same copy and paste teams? Like everyone's in it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
think
be
so.
nuts.
I'm excited for it. I think
Wow.
we're gonna see a lot of blood.
Wow.
John Moxley alone, him, Danielson, Tito Ortiz.
Moxley
even
didn't
Kingston.
need to bleed last night. Like he just like whatever it is.
Do
like,
they
oh,
ever really have to? I mean, not really, but it
I
just
don't know
adds
when.
to it.
When did he? Was there a moment in the match? I wasn't really paying too much attention.
Honestly,
All of a sudden, I just looked up
saw it
and
and there's just red. His entire face is red. No, I don't know when exactly, but hey, that's his character. It's a touch. So,
well, I think that might bring us to an end of episode 2.
I think that's a good ending. Good episode too.
So, also, we didn't mention this at the beginning, but I guess people who made it to the end are the only ones that would really care. To see, let me think what we're calling this. You know what we're calling this?
Tell me.
To get your ticket to the Mustache Bros podcast after party. To be on the list. That's what we say. Let's start over.
You just made the list.
To get on, if you want to be on the list, the Mustache Bros after party, head over to patreon.com/Lumberlend. We're going to do another 15 to 20 minutes. It's just basically another mini episode, an extra episode. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about wrestling. We might not talk about wrestling. I mean, we're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about other stuff. So anyway, to get into the after party, patreon.com/Lumberlend. We're going to go for a little bit more. With that said, I've been John. You can follow me at Raspy Taylor on all platforms.
I've been Dante. You can follow me, Dante on Deck, on all platforms as well.
That's your thing on all platforms.
Well, no, it's not. That's a lie. I'm Dante.
That's just Twitter,
Dante
right?
on Deck is just Twitter. Yeah, Dante Toro 11 for Instagram.
Whatever you want to plug.
Whatever you
wanna
just look
plug.
me up. Find me.
Thank you guys. We hope you enjoyed episode 2. Please, again, this is a new thing for us. Leave comments on what you like, what you didn't like, suggestions. If you're mean, keep it to yourself. What else are we plugging?
Rating, 5-star rating.
Subscribe. Oh, yeah. So if you're listening to this, the audio version, please follow us and all that stuff on whatever your preferred, whatever Apple Podcast, Spotify, anything. Leave a rating, like Dante said, 5 stars ideally.
Please,
this,
come on. Nothing less.
It really helps the show out so much. I mean, we have a ton of ratings on. I don't know if you looked at it. We have a ton of ratings on Spotify. And we have a couple on Apple Podcasts.
I believe you. Hopefully we get some more.
I mean, the reception from episode 1
It was awesome.
has been nuts.
Yeah, 100%.
Really, really crazy. We can't thank you guys enough. We'll let you guys go. I could go on and on about how thankful we are, but this was solid. I'm excited for the next one.
What's the best episode? The next one.
Well, this one currently.
Well, this one right now is the
then-
best, but the next one's going to be the best one.
Is going to be better.
Yep.
If you haven't checked it out, again, our Hell in a Cell predictions are up now. We have... just go to the channel. We have videos coming out Tuesday through Saturday, I think,
so.
and then the Sunday main on the Lumberlend. It's a lot at this point. Episode 1 of Video Games is out too, and episode 2 of the MyGM mode, that's coming out.
Guys, what are we doing?
Wow,
What are we
so
doing?
much.
Hit the notification bells. Go on YouTube.
Let's
Check
go.
it out right now.
All right, that's a wrap.